In this example, we have 0.103 times 0.601. So let's start by setting up our example with our first number on top multiplied by our second number on the bottom. Now, starting with our bottom number, we're going to start on the far right and multiply it by every digit on top. So we have 1 times 3 to give us 3, 1 times 0 to give us 0, 1 times 1 to give us 1, and then 1 times 0 to give us 0 again. Now we're done with this one, and we can move on to our next digit on the bottom. But whenever we have a 0 on the bottom that we're multiplying by every digit on top, we can just ignore it and move on to our next digit. We can do this because when we have a 0 on the bottom and multiply it by any number, we are always going to get 0. So in the end, when we add all of our digits down below here, adding a 0 won't make any difference. So therefore, we can just skip this 0 and move on to our next digit of 6. But because we're moving on to our next digit, there are 2 digits behind the 6, so we have to add 2 zeros down below. Now we can continue on with 6 times 3, which gives us 18. So we write our 8 down below here and carry our 1 to our next column. Now we have 6 times 0 to give us 0, but 0 plus the 1 that we carried gives us 1. And then we have 6 times 1, which gives us 6, so write that below here. And then we have 6 times 0 to give us 0. Now we're done with this 6 and this 1 that we carried, and we can move on to our next digit. But as we can see, the next digit we move on to is a 0. So as I explained before, we can just skip this whole 0 and go on to adding our numbers at the bottom. So we have 3 plus 0 to give us 3, 0 plus 0 to give us 0, 1 plus 8 to give us 9, 0 plus 1 to give us 1, and then 6 and 0. Now that we have all of our digits in our final answer, we have to deal with our decimal. So going back to our original question, we have 0.103, which has 3 digits after the decimal, and 0.601 to also give us 3 digits after the decimal. So we have 3 plus 3 to give us 6, so therefore there are going to be 6 digits after a decimal. So we start our decimal here, and we move over once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and then finally over to right here. So our decimal is going to be right before the 6. And then we can add a 0 before our decimal just to make things look nice. So our final answer is 0.0611903.